Thank you, Toastmasters family, for allowing me to share with you today the adventures of being a home healthcare nurse. Being a home healthcare nurse can be challenging, rewarding, and dangerous. Yes, it can. For instance, during the summer of 2017, I had the opportunity to visit a patient diagnosed with Alzheimer's, hypertension, and dementia. Now, this particular patient lives on the Campbellton Road area, in the Campbellton Road area, and the Pinehurst Apartments, surname Little Vietnam. No stranger to drug activity, gun violence, and prostitution. Now, didn't my supervisor tell me about this area before I went to see the patient? I wonder why. Why didn't my coworkers tell me about this particular area before going to see the patient? I wonder why. That's a sidebar. We're not going to talk about that. Before going out to see the patient, I decided to do a little research on managing hypertension with your diet and sodium. The research that I gathered included a sodium-free diet, which is pretty much self-explanatory, no sodium, less than a grain of salt, a very low sodium diet, which is 25 milligrams of sodium per serving, which is probably about 5 grains of salt, and a low sodium diet, which is 140 milligrams of sodium, probably a little bit more than a pinch of salt, and also a reduced sodium diet, which is 25% less sodium of the original product, a little bit more than a pinch of salt, maybe 2 pinches of salt. So I was very excited about gathering my research. It's the day of the visit. I jump into my car, ride over to the community, come to the community, look around. I didn't see anything unusual. I park in front of the apartment building, get out of my car, walk to the door of the patient's residence. I knock on the door. Boom, boom. The caregiver comes to the door. Who is it? Who is it? Now, mind you, there's a certain way you have to come to the door and answer the door when you're living in Little Vietnam. Now, one thing I had to know is when they go high with their voice, you have to go low with yours. So I say, the nurse, it's the nurse. So he answers the door, he lets me in. I walk into the apartment, look around. I don't see anything really unusual, but mind you, I do see the patient sitting on the couch, looking confused, just like a demented patient would look. But guess what she's eating? A bag of potato chips. Chomping down on potato chips. So immediately I'm thinking, thank God I'm here. I'm here to save the day. Because in that one bag of potato chips, there was approximately 160 milligrams of sodium, and there were 5 servings in the bag. That's a lot of salt. So I turn and I look at the caregiver. I say, sir, I'm going to teach you about dietary information regarding managing hypertension. He says to me, okay. So I drop the message on him. I tell him about a sodium-free diet, a very low sodium diet, a low sodium diet, and a reduced sodium diet. Then I ask, do you understand the information? He says, yeah, but lady, let me tell you one thing. I don't care what you just said. If I don't give her potato chips, she'll tear up the place. I'm going to give her 1 bag, 2 bags, 3 bags, whatever I got to do to make her quiet. So, mind you, this visit isn't going like I expected to do. I gathered my belongings, my bruised ego, and I head out the door. I'm headed to my car, walk into my car. I get in my car. I'm thinking, you know what? Whatever. I did my job. But guess what happens? A driver comes and parks right beside me. Mind you, the parking spaces are vertical. This guy parks horizontally. I'm thinking, that's odd. He jumps out of his car, runs into the apartment complex. I'm thinking, he must have left his iron on. Buddy, turn your iron off. That's a good thing. Run. And at the same time he runs into the apartment complex, a security guard comes from around the building, stands right by the building, places his hand on a gun. And I'm thinking, is this a movie? This doesn't look right. Okay, I got to get out of here. Something is wrong. So as the security guard is standing with his hand on the gun, the guy runs from his apartment, jumps back into his vehicle, and he starts to take off. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, I got to get out of here. Where are my keys? Okay, wait a minute. I'm not gonna get caught in any gunfire. So I try to take off as well. I'm behind the driver. I lie to you not. This actually happened. Another security guard comes in the middle of the street, points a gun right at this guy. And I'm thinking, this one voice went off in my head. Shut up, get down. So I get down behind the wheel. Oh my God. So after I'm down shivering, I decide to look up. And the security guard is still pointing the gun at the guy. And he looks over his shoulder and he's signaling me, get out of the way and get out of the way now. So I pull off to the side. The driver speeds off around the security guard. Toastmaster family. Again, a home health care nurse job can be challenging, rewarding, and dangerous. Thank you so much for allowing me to share this information with you.